Hello friends, welcome to C# Intermediate to Advanced tutorial. Now you are watching part 3 of the subseries, how to use conditional breakpoint. Let's quickly review the previous 2 videos slides. So this is the sample application we are using for the debugging subseries. You can download this sample application from the video description. In the last video, we looked at step in, step over, and step out functionality of debugging. So now we have the background of how to put a breakpoint. Then once breakpoint is hit, how we can execute these statements line by line with the use of step in, step out, and step over debugging options. In this video, we will look at the conditional breakpoint, how to set conditional breakpoint, and how it will be useful for your debugging session. So let us say we have a while loop. In that while loop, we are making call to a function fx by passing some variable content. Let's say the variable t is integer. If you look inside the function, so the function void fx is receiving this t as integer parameter. Then let's assume that it is making some database call or making call to an internal data structure by supplying the variable to retrieve some data. Since this is a while loop, sometime it may end up with iterating 100 times or 10,000 times or even a million times. Now let's state that we are keeping a breakpoint here, and let's assume that the while loop goes for 100 times, and you want to examine get data when variable is holding a value 92. So let's say this is where you get some different behavior in the application, or you get your logical fault when var is holding the value 92. So if you put a breakpoint like this, you have the breakpoint will hit 92 times, and all the previous hit we don't want to explore. 1 to 91 we don't want to explore. We want to explore only when the breakpoint hit at 92 times. I mean 92nd time only we want to explore this get data function. Or when the variable is holding the value 92, that time we want to explore the get data function. Remember, when the breakpoint hit, you can opt for step in option, which we discovered in the previous video. When you go for step in, the debugger will step inside this function and you can start your debugging with a variable value 92. So conditional breakpoints is useful in this situation. It is not only useful for making the condition can be made using the process ID, thread ID, and all those advanced features. But here in this video, we are going to look at hit count based condition, then condition that involves a variable. Say for example, if we want to use a hit count here, we need to set the hit count as 92 if the loop runs from 1 to 100. So you can set hit count as 92. This is one technique. Or you can set a condition that a variable should hold the value 92. So when we make use of a variable, you can form condition like. The advantage here is you can form complex condition. That means you want to examine the get data functionality when the variable is holding value 92, as well as when the variable is holding the value 87. So instead of hit count, if you use condition like this, the breakpoint will be hit when the variable is holding the value 92 or it's holding the value 87. So when there is a condition attached to the breakpoint, you will see the breakpoint is appearing with a plus sign in the margin area. So this way you can easily identify that this breakpoint is a conditional breakpoint. That means a program breaks conditionally. Even though it's a breakpoint, the program won't break always. It always tests the condition which is kept on this. So the condition can be a hit count or it will be a condition based conditional breakpoint. Alright, now let's go to the demo and see how we can use these conditional breakpoints. Here, if you see, we are using the same exe. Let's state that the user is giving 200 to find the prime numbers, and once they click, it is iterating 200 times and it tells what are all the prime numbers between 0 to 200. Let's pick one value, 167. This is a prime number. Okay, and we will explore the conditional breakpoint. So once user clicks, it will make a call to get result click. Then here we make a call to sum if prime, and sum if prime we iterate through the number. Then we will make a call to is prime. Inside is prime, we again run a loop to test the positive number is prime or not. So here I'm keeping a breakpoint, then I'm keeping one breakpoint here, then one in here. We will make this as a conditional breakpoint. To do that, place your cursor on the breakpoint bubble, then right click. After that, so if you see, this is the condition breakpoint option. So this one is the hit count based option. This is when hit. So when breakpoint hit, if you want to print some messages, you can do that. Also, there is a filter based breakpoints. Say for example, you can make use of process ID or thread ID to make a hit to this breakpoint. So far in this advanced tutorial, we haven't covered threads. So the conditional breakpoint will be very useful when you want to break the execution when a specific thread is using this function. That means, let's say this is a threaded function, and when a specific thread is accessing it, then we can break it by using the thread ID or thread name. So when you, in future we will learn about a C# thread, that time we can make this option comes handy. So while creating the thread itself, we can name the thread. Then in the conditional breakpoint, we can form the expression like this. Alright, now let's go to the hit count based one. So I forgot which one we have chosen, 167 I guess. So hit count. If you see, this time I used the option hit count. Then here you can see the various other option that comes with the hit count. Break when the hit count is equal to, break when the hit count is multiple of. That means for every 10th time if you want to break, you can put 10 here and choose the option multiples of hit count. Break when hit count is greater than or equal to. So if I put 10, so the breakpoint will hit after the 10th call of this function. Now here I want to use a break when the hit count is equal to 167. And if you see, once I put a hit count, so all our condition here, this is a hit count based condition, and this is a condition based condition. This one is a location based condition. In this video we will look at these two options, hit count and condition. At present we are in the hit count. Now let's execute this. So I'm giving 200, then choosing get prime sum. If you see, the breakpoint is okay. Since I have the breakpoints here, it is hitting. And if you see, the breakpoint is hitting at 167. Now once the breakpoint is hit, then you can put other breakpoint here, or so we know that this loop will run for 167, right? So the point what we want to make here is even though we had a breakpoint here, it doesn't hit for 166 time when we make a call from is prime by supplying the value 167. Here if you see, the outer loop sum if prime is running for 200 times. Why? Because that's the input we gave. Ignore this the number. This is 200 actually. Here it is showing 167. The number is local to sum if prime. So once we come here, you will come to know. Let me put a breakpoint here, true as well as a false. So it's a prime number. Now I am doing a step over option, or I can even do a step out. Since we are towards the end, we can go for step over also. And now if I check, the number is 200. That's what we passed here. So the number is local to this sum if prime here, and here the number is local to is prime function. All right. Now you saw how the conditional breakpoint is hit. This time we will change this condition based breakpoint. Here you can use the has changed option or is true option. Here I am making use of is true option. That means here I am going to write a condition. If you see here, I formed a condition. The number is 150 or the number is 167. So the condition will evaluate to true when the number is 150 or the number is 167. So once it evaluates true, the breakpoint will hit. That means this time it's not a hit count based breakpoint, it's a condition based breakpoint. So the condition will get evaluated to true when the number is 150 or 167. Now let us execute this. So it is not hitting. Let's keep the breakpoint again. So now there is no condition. Previously there was a hit count that was not cleared. So I just removed and re-added the breakpoint. Now let's go for condition. Okay, now we kept our condition, the number equal to 150 or the number equal to 167. Now let's execute it. Okay, so we still have some error. Here we kept only one equality sign. So now this also a condition. So this is the mistake. We made an assignment in this in place of a condition. Now let's execute this. This time I'm giving a 200. And you can see the breakpoint is hitting. Why? Because the number is holding the value 150. So if I continue, it will hit again with the number holding the value 167. So now we can step in and see how it is working. So if you want to put one more breakpoint here, one more technique, instead of using condition, sometimes people will introduce a code, then they will put a normal breakpoint. So for example, here, whatever condition we wrote, we can do that like this also. If the number equal to 160, then put some dummy statement here, then put a normal breakpoint. So we know that this breakpoint will hit only when the number is equal to 160. So that's the same thing we are doing with the conditional breakpoint. So first we will put a breakpoint. So remember, we got an error when we have both the hit count and condition. So always make sure you put your breakpoint freshly, then opt for a condition. That's all here in this video. Thank you for watching. Bye.